That new Avatar movie just got leaked, and I'm not gonna lie, yeah, I watched it. That shit was gas, and I'm gonna watch it again when it comes out on streaming. But for the time being, it got me hyped up to see some more Avatar content. The last time I watched The Legend of Korra was back when they first released it. Oh, but not that old. I was like 7. That being said, I didn't remember a lot of the plot, but I saw so many different complaints from other people about how bad Legend of Korra was. The biggest gripes I've seen people have is with season 2 of Legend of Korra. A few days ago, I decided to start watching Legend of Korra. I'm not gonna lie, I'm already done it. But in this video, I want to hone in on season 2, because while I understand complaints about the season itself, I think that the hate that Korra gets for what happened in the season doesn't really make sense. I want to go over some of the biggest criticisms I've seen for the season, in particular how they relate to Korra and her actions, and why I disagree with some of the discourse surrounding it, and I also think some of it comes down to misremembering the details of what happened in the show. My name's Jeffrey, you're watching Just Jeffrey, welcome or welcome back. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, and leave a comment. Unalaq manipulating Korra to open the spirit portal. Throughout the first episode of Legend of Korra season 2, we see a bastardization of a spirit festival that the Southern Water Tribe put on. We then see the Northern Water Tribe's leader, Korra's uncle Unalaq, pull up on them. Throughout the episode, we see Unalaq being extremely disappointed with the Southern Water Tribe's festival.
This festival used to be a solemn time of fasting and meditation. Now it's just a chance to watch some rube try to stick an entire Arctic hen in his mouth.
He believes that the Southern Water Tribe is playing a dangerous game by not showing respect to the spirits and abandoning tradition.
Angry spirits are already attacking ships in your waters. I only hope we are not too late to change course.
Which evidently comes to fruition because at the end of the episode, a dark spirit attacks.
What is that?
Hello, motherfucker.
I ain't gonna lie, that dark spirit was moving. He went straight to attack the town, and no one could stop it. Not Tenzin, not Korra the Avatar, not Mako, not Bolin, not her father Tonraq. None of them could put up an adequate fight against the spirit. He was moving crazy. No one, besides Unalaq that is. When it came to the field of spiritual knowledge, no one even knew anything remotely close to Unalaq. And this notion is reinforced because in the first episode, we see Unalaq being the only person who can stop the dark spirit. He does this by purifying the dark spirit and eventually leading it out the way. Tenzin, the son of Avatar Aang, who is not only supposed to be Korra's airbending teacher.
You're supposed to teach me.
I'm sorry, Korra. Your airbending training is going to have to wait.
He was also supposed to be the one that taught her more about the spiritual side of being the Avatar.
Ever since you were a little girl, you've excelled at the physical side of bending, but completely ignored the spiritual side. The Avatar must master both.
I haven't ignored it, it just doesn't come as easy to me. But that's why I should start training with Tenzin immediately. He's Mr. Spiritual.
Wasn't even in the same stratosphere as Unalaq when it came down to the spirit world and the spirits. This shows itself later on when they were attempting to find Unalaq in the spirit world. Tenzin wasn't able to spirit project into the spirit world while Korra and his daughter could.
It's okay, Tenzin. Maybe you weren't meant to guide Korra into the spirit world.
No, just give me some time.
Stop being so stubborn. It's not your destiny.
Even when the world was falling apart, he couldn't do it. Seeing her uncle purify the spirit, Korra decided that she wanted to learn more from him.
How were you able to control that spirit when no one else could?
Because obviously there was stuff she can learn from him about the spiritual side of being the Avatar.
As your father could tell you, I've spent my life studying the spirits and learning their ways.
Which is something that she openly struggled with, and Tenzin knew she struggled with since season 1. Not just season 1, she makes this very clear in the first episode. Literally the only times you see Korra go back and connect with the past avatars is when she unlocks the avatar state when she connects with Aang. This is when Aang taught her energy bending because she lost access to all her other bending styles beside air. But Aang himself explains that the only reason that he could reach Korra is because she was at her lowest.
Aang.
You have finally connected with your spiritual self.
How?
When we hit our lowest point, we are open to the greatest change.
The only other time she connected with Aang was when she was inside that metal box and she was meditating. There she saw visions from Aang about who Amon might be. She didn't even have a conversation with Aang at that point like Aang was shown to do with the past avatars in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Outside of Aang, the only other time you ever see her connect with past avatars is when she loses her memories.
We're here to help you, Avatar Korra.
Who's Avatar Korra?
After that dark spirit attacked her and dragged her into the bottom of the ocean, she was forced to learn about Wan.
My name is Wan, and I will show you how I became the first Avatar.
She was forced to learn about Rava. She was forced to learn about Vatu. But do you know when this happened? After the portal was already open. Tenzin's suggestion to learn more about the spiritual side of being the Avatar was to go to all these different air temples.
Chief Unalaq, clearly you are very knowledgeable, but Korra still has much to learn about airbending, And I hope that going to the air temples will help her connect with the past avatars.
But as we see in the show, that nigga Tenzin don't know jack diddly squat about the spirit side of being the avatar. He has a lot of knowledge about it.
I spent years training, studying, and mastering everything there is to know about the spirit world.
But he has no cloth to apply it.
Perhaps I will never have the connection with spirits like I always wanted.
Janora, his child daughter, was the only one who could spirit project.
Aunt Kaya is right. I can guide Korra into the spirit world. I'll be all right.
She knew where they had to meditate in order to spirit project into the spirit world because she was the only one who could see spirits.
It's okay. You can show yourselves.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm sorry to say it, but on the spiritual side of it, Tenzin was a fraud.
I've never been into the spirit world.
It's very easy to argue that when Aang was 12, he was already tapped in with his spiritual side. But it doesn't make sense because Aang was a monk. Literally half his life was dedicated to meditating. Korra and Aang are two very different avatars. Korra does not struggle with the physical side of being an avatar at all. But in the beginning, she struggled so much with the spiritual side. It took Aang a lot longer comparatively to pick up on the physical side. But on the spirit side, Aang was locked in from day one. Korra, for the majority of her life until she was 17, was kept isolated from the rest of the world in the Southern Water Tribe.
It was Tenzin and your father who kept you secluded at the South Pole.
I thought Aang ordered the White Lotus to keep me down here.
Her uncle and her cousins were some of the few people that she knew outside of the White Lotus, Tenzin and his family, and then other people in the village. Of course, she was trusting of a man that she's known her whole life, her dad's brother. On the way to the South Pole, as we see in episode 2, there were so many dark spirits, either roaming around watching them or actually attacking them. The only person who had an explanation for why they were there was their uncle, Unalaq.
You keep me locked up, telling me you know what's best, but both of you were powerless against the spirit attack.
I don't understand why people are blaming her for believing the most knowledgeable person about spirits when he's the only one offering explanations.
At the South Pole, there is a portal that connects our world to the spirit world, but it has long been closed.
And that's why the evil spirits are attacking?
There are no evil spirits. There is light and dark in them all. But when they're unbalanced, the darkness takes over.
All her life, she's been told she's a bridge between the spirit and physical world. All her life, she had no clue how to tap into the spirit world. Her uncle was the only person who could actually help her tap into the spirit world. While they're in a cave, her father tells a story about how he used to be from the Northern Water Tribe. He talks about how he low-key destroyed the forest and how that almost led to the destruction of the entire Northern Water Tribe.
They threatened to destroy everything. The entire city.
Her own father comes in and paints her uncle as the hero who saved the Water Tribe by purifying the spirits and leading them away.
Unalaq was able to guide the spirits back to the forest.
Not only revealing that he had been lying to Korra her entire life, but further reinforcing the notion that her uncle was right in his pursuit to get the portal opened. Again, we're talking about episode 2. We don't know that Unalaq was actually the person who manipulated Tonraq into destroying the forest. We don't know that at that point Unalaq was doing that in order to gain chief position. We don't know this at this point, and no one in the show does besides Unalaq. Tonraq himself doesn't even know this happened until later. Throughout the first 2 episodes prior to the portal being opened, her uncle doesn't show any indication of being evil, and no one from the cast suggests as much. Korra's father is only concerned about the potential risk of having the 2 worlds connected.
Spirit and the physical world should remain separate.
Which his concern makes sense given how he almost had the Northern Water Tribe destroyed with spirits. But the problem is he himself doesn't know much about spirits, admittedly so. So it's understandably hard for Korra to believe him, not only because he lied about his past, but also because he really don't know jack diddly squat about spirits. Korra then proceeds to open the portal. Literally everyone is happy. It's played up to be such a happy moment in episode 2, with her father, the only real detractor, looking up in the sky and being happy. He's like, oh, I'm so proud of my daughter. She did it.
She did it.
So in the show, it goes out of its way to show you that literally no one knew that opening the portal was negative.
Everything you said was true.
Literally not a single person knew. Tonraq wasn't a detractor because he thought opening the portal was negative. He was talking about the potential risk, but when it happened, he was happy. The only thing else that he was talking about was how dangerous the journey was.
This mission is too dangerous. We're leaving.
Other than that, he didn't see anything negative with the portal being open. No one did. Well, throughout the rest of the season, we see exactly why it was a mistake. But that revelation only starts to be understood once they return to the village. Because at the end of the episode, we see Unalaq move the Northern Water Army to the south. And after that, in episode 3, episode 4, we see how Unalaq is low-key evil. But before the portal was open, we didn't know anything about that. We didn't know Unalaq was a bad guy. Not only did he manipulate Korra into opening the portal, he manipulated everyone into thinking that it was a good idea. Again, his only detractor was Tonraq, and even Tonraq himself looked in the sky, he's like, oh, look, my daughter did it! My daughter did it, she's awesome!
She did it.
I'm so confused why everyone is blaming Korra for opening the portal, when literally after it's open, everyone in the show is happy. Her father, Mako, Team Avatar, everyone. The only Avatar who we know really knew anything about portals was Wan, who she did not connect with and see anything about the portals until she lost her memory, which happened much later. It happened in like episode 5, episode 6. I don't even remember actually off the top of my head. This argument is so silly to me because the show actively tells you how no one could have known that opening the portal was a bad thing until after it was already opened. It goes out of its way to show you that no one could have known her uncle was a bad person until after it was opened. The only person who knew anything about the spiritual side of the Avatar was not only her uncle, but he just happened to be evil. It's unfortunate, but I don't understand why people are hating Korra for this. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Korra losing Rava and losing access to all the previous Avatar lives. Before harmonic convergence, Vaatu became way stronger than Rava, because as we learned through Wan, they live in a balance.
And for the past 10,000 years, I have kept darkness under control and the world in balance.
The stronger Vaatu gets, the weaker Rava is. The stronger Rava is, the weaker Vaatu is. The show goes to show us by the stronger one getting bigger and the weaker one getting smaller.
He's getting bigger and you're getting smaller.
As darkness grows, light fades.
We see during Wan's time when more chaos, more disorder, more dark spirits were coming to fruition. We see Vaatu become huge and Rava is small. She can fit in the palm of Wan's hand. During this time, Vaatu was stronger than Rava because there was an increase in chaos. More dark spirits are emerging. A civil war is happening. And honestly, just Unalaq being Unalaq and causing destruction and chaos everywhere he goes. Vaatu was continuously gaining more and more strength. And as we saw through Rava and Wan, Vaatu only becomes stronger once he merges with a host. After Korra was forced to release Vaatu so they didn't pack up Janora.
What will it be? Open the portal or lose your friend's soul forever?
I ain't gonna lie, Korra was straight cooking. She literally knocked Unalaq right out the spirit world. And she told Mako and Bolin to go and handle them. But as we saw, Mako and Bolin got cooked. Eska, Desna, and Unalaq ran the fade within 10 seconds. They were gone. But before that, we see Korra is literally about to seal up Vaatu like Wan did.
I'm locking you away for another 10,000 years, Vaatu.
She was just about to place that man inside this tree of time. If Mako and Bolin had held him for like another 10 seconds, he would have been free. But boom, alas, they didn't, and Vaatu was free. Korra was so close to sealing this Mount Vaatu for another 10,000 years. Because as we learned during the show, harmonic convergence only happens every 10,000 years. But you know, we can't have nice things because then Unalaq and Vaatu combined to become Unavaatu, the Dark Avatar. As seen in the subsequent events, Unavaatu was completely broken. He was overpowered. And this is because of the balance between order and chaos that Rava and Vaatu respectively represent. Vaatu was growing stronger with an increase of chaos within the south. As a result of an increase in chaos, order inherently decreased, which led to a weaker Rava and therefore a weaker Avatar comparatively than the Dark Avatar. That is when Unavaatu grips Korra and literally rips out Rava and then destroys the past lives of all the Avatars. And while I absolutely hate that decision, and I'm saddened that Aang and them are no longer there, I can't say through the story it doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make me hate Korra. Unavaatu was absolutely busted, and Korra's giant spirit projection really wouldn't have been able to do anything if it wasn't for Janora helping illuminate the light of Rava inside of Vaatu. I don't blame Korra for losing the past lives of the Avatars. The story doesn't give me a reason to. I'm saddened that she lost them, and I really wish she could get them back. But I understand the direction that they were trying to go, even if I disagree with it. I don't hate Korra for the events of season 2 of The Legend of Korra. I hate the direction that they decided to go with this story, even if I understand their points. Korra is an extremely flawed character, point blank period. But that's kind of the point. She was an extremely physically strong Avatar, but she struggled a lot with the spiritual side of being the Avatar. Her uncle, her family, her blood was the only person who showed he could actually help her become a better Avatar in the spirit sense. He just happened to be really good at hiding that he was an evil person. We later go on to learn that he was part of the Red Lotus, but who even knew? No one. He was the one who tried to get Korra kidnapped for his own selfish plans, but no one knew. So it doesn't make sense to blame Korra for falling victim to this guy, bro. He's crazy. crazy. He's a one-on-one manipulator. No one in the show knew what type of timing he was really on besides people of the Red Lotus. So yes, she opened the portal, which eventually led to her losing Rava. But as you see in the show, there was literally no reason for her not to open the portal. The stuff that happened that led up to her opening the portal all reinforced why she would go and open the portal. She lost Rava simply because Unavatu was stronger. Why? Because of that balance between order and chaos. Again, Vatu becomes stronger when there's more chaos in the world. Unalaq purposely created more chaos so that Vatu would grow stronger. If Vatu is stronger, that means that Korra is weaker. The stronger the dark avatar is, the weaker the avatar is. That's just how it works. Again, I'm really sad that Aang and the past lives were lost. But it isn't really a failing on Korra. She was fighting Spirit Satan and a man who knew way more about spirits than her, who was also way stronger than her because of the balance between light and dark. With that being said, I'm done yapping. Thank y'all so much for watching. Today, I finished my proper run through of The Legend of Korra, and while I don't think it's nearly as perfect as Avatar The Last Airbender, they needed more Uncle Iroh scenes. It's still a really great watch, which I enjoyed a lot. I personally think it was a really good addition to the Avatar world. Season 3 with the Red Lotus was high-key peak Avatar verse. I'm not even gonna lie. With all that being said, I don't got that much more to say. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. Tell me what you thought about Legend of Korra. Tell me what you think about Legend of Korra. Tell me if you still think even after this video it's all Korra's fault. Season 2, she just cooked. She's fuck Korra. Whatever you gotta say, let me know in the comments below. We can talk about any of your comments in the comments. I read all of them. And if you see the hype button, can you click it for me? YouTube roll out that new feature and I want to see how it works. Anyway, thank you so much. Peace, y'all. Bye-bye.